Welcome to official SL TV channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share my video and press the red button. Please help me to share my video.
For Voice of Local Media Empire, SL Media 1, as we get the press release from the leader for the opposition at the House of Parliament, as today when at the 30th of October 2024, as this is not the position of the All People's Congress Party, SL Media 1.
Of course, because we know say it been get for una parliament, we may dey follow everything with keen interest. All the tribunal proceedings we follow, and today we go disclose a lot of documents then I have to una. Documents of receipts wey dem present to the auditors, email exchanges wey dem get from their hotels dem dey, and a lot more una go know today. But before we reach that day, let us just read we own position as members of the opposition in the parliament. I will read now. Position paper of the ApC parliamentary caucus on the tribunal report on the removal of the Auditor General of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Layat Telopias, Mrs. and Deputy Auditor General, Mr. Tamba Momo. Following the suspension of the Auditor General, Layat Telopias, from office on the 11th November 2021, we have followed with keen interest the proceedings of the tribunal. That was set up to investigate her and the Deputy Auditor General, Mr. Tamba Momo, for alleged professional misconduct and lack of professional performance. The Parliament of Sierra Leone, through the Office of the Clerk, was accorded the report of the tribunal, which was tabled in the Hall of Parliament on Thursday, 29th August 2024. Since the tribunal's report was made public, we have read noted provisions of the Constitution of Sierra Leone and the related legislations. We have also received and noted submissions made by international professional bodies, members of the public, and the two auditors that were investigated. Having done much deliberations on sale, coupled with the wider consultations with both local and international stakeholders, we wish to state the following. 1. That the Auditor General and her deputy were strictly guided by the international standard on auditing, ISA 240, or its public sector equivalent. The International Standard of Supreme Audit Institution, ISSAI 2240, which states that an auditor is usually not trained or expected to be an expert in the authentication of documents. However, when an auditor identifies conditions that cause the auditor to believe that the document may not be authentic, or that terms in the document have been modified, not disclosed to the auditor, possible procedures to investigate further includes confirming directly with the third party. This is obviously so because requesting for authorization before third-party inquiry may lead to destruction of evidence in the first place. The allegation for which the Auditor General was investigated relates to third-party confirmation of the authenticity of the document, which is clearly separate and distinct from third-party confirmation of account balance, such as bank, creditor, debitor, debtor, party, debtor account balance. Furthermore, the intent and purpose of the provisions is to detect fraud and/or dishonesty, requiring consent before. Therefore, as a requirement for such confirmation, no doubt defeats the very intent for which it was created. 2. That in paragraph 212 of the tribunal report, the Director General at the Intoside Development Initiative (IDI) made it abundantly clear that he has never come across a requirement that an auditor should seek the consent of an auditee before confirmation can be made from a third party to authenticate a document submitted as audit evidence, and that there is no standard for an auditor to get consent from the third party confirmation. However, contrary to such instructive and expert opinion from highly reputable auditing institutions, which set standards for global auditing as provided for in Section 11, subsection 2A of the Audit Service Act of 2014, as amended, the tribunal in paragraph 229 of its report choose to base its conclusion primarily on testimonies of non-expert witnesses, totally discarding the testimonies of expert witnesses based on international best practice. We view this not only as bias, but a mockery of the principles of fairness and justice. 3. That as an opposition, we believe that if this unprecedented removal of the Auditor General attracts the 2/3 majority in Parliament, it will significantly affect the conduct of credible and independent audit and other accountability processes in Sierra Leone. Owing to the fact that the audit service Sierra Leone is perceived by a substantial number of citizens as the only remaining independent accountability agency that has stood the test of time for successive government, an attempt by government to remove the Auditor General will, without a doubt, serve as a barrier for other auditors or other oversight institutions to conduct their work objectively and independently for fear of being subjected to what is perceived as a politically centered attempt to limit the scope for transparency in the future. 4. That on the alleged failure of the audit service to audit the Freetown City Council, FCC referred in paragraph 248 to 257 of the tribunal report, we are shocked that the tribunal could make conclusion that the Auditor General and a deputy failed to conduct proper audit exercise on FCC for the financial year 2020, even when successive financial statements of the FCC and that of the year in question were audited and expressed an impressive unqualified opinion in full compliance with Section 11, Subsection 1 of the Audit Service Act of 2014. See Table 4.3, Council's Opinion 2020 on page 485 and page 493 of the Auditor General's Annual Report of 2020. It is worthy to note that all audits conducted by the Audit Service are scope-based and are limited to public accounts of Sierra Leone. And all public offices, other bodies and organizations established by an Act of Parliament or statutory instrument, and that audit of non-government organizations do not fall under the functions of the Audit Service Sierra Leone, neither under any other legal mandate. 5. Allowing the removal of the Auditor General on this particular issue will certainly defeat the intent and purpose for which His Excellency the President, Julius Maada rejected the 2020 Finance Bill under Section 106, Subsection 1 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act Number 6 of 1991. This bill provided for unaccountable interest for President, Vice President, and Speaker of Parliament for all overseas travels. The said bill, after perusal by State House and in the memorandum addressed to the Clerk of Parliament, the Secretary to the President had this to say, and I quote, His Excellency the President has perused the document and has expressed great concern over the open-endedness of the non-accountable interest as provided for in the said Act. He is of the view that this is prone to improper use of public funds. End of quote. We therefore strongly believe that we, the opposition in Parliament, will not be a party to any attempt made by whosoever to erode such level of transparency and accountability. 6. Yesterday, Tuesday, 29th October 2024, the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Sierra Leone, ApC, established by the Institution of Chartered Accountants of Sierra Leone Act of 12 May 1988 to regulate accountancy and professional accountants in Sierra Leone, which both the Auditor General and a deputy are member of, issued a press statement to its members confirming that it has conducted its own investigation into this matter and that there was no evidence of professional misconduct. Instead, it confirmed that the auditors acted in the best interest of the public, upheld professional standards and adherence to international auditing standards and guidelines. 7. In the same vein, the ApC, but on an international scale, on the 23rd July 2024, the global umbrella body of all Auditor Generals in the world, the International Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions, INTOSAI, who are responsible for regulating their members and developing the ISSAI, confirmed that the Auditor General indeed complied with their standards in the press statement titled INTOSAI General Secretariat and INTOSAI Development Initiative, joint position on the removal process of the Auditor General of Sierra Leone. In conclusion, owing to the composition of this sixth parliament, it is clearly evident that two-thirds majority of all members of parliament that is needed to vote in favor of the removal of the Auditor General as provided for in subsection 7b of section 137 of our Constitution, of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, cannot be achieved without the support of the opposition. Therefore, in the best interest of accountability and transparency, which the audit service has stood for over the years, we advise that His Excellency the President reconsiders the recommendations in the tribunal report relating to the removal of the Auditor General and her deputy. It is hoped that His Excellency will heed to our advice in the interest of strengthening the tenet of transparency and accountability in our beloved country. This is the end of our press statement.
At the end of the press release, this from the
Thank you very much.
ApC parliamentary leadership at the House of
Thank you
Parliament.
very much, Right Honorable.
Voice of Rokel Media Empire, SL Media One, the living legacy of the great evangelist Samson. As we dey inside the ApC National Party headquarters, where the ApC parliamentary leadership can get them press conference today, when at the 30th of October 2024.
Opposition.